So I think just to start off, Tilla, since I am opening up my notebook this evening, as journalists, we often find ourselves rushing to breaking news either in the middle of the night or on a Sunday afternoon. So yesterday we saw the Reserve Bank governor coming out and saying that, this bank had owed municipalities money that they had deposited in. So we found ourselves having 21 municipalities depositing money into this bank, VBS Bank, and then later on when they wanted to come and get their money back, the money was not there. The bank did not have enough cash to give out. And this happened because VBS Bank took its short deposits from municipalities, which has seen to be its biggest clients, and using this to, for long-term lending. So essentially taking this money and using it for long loans,
Sure.
And the Reserve Bank was saying, and this obviously raised massive alarm bells, and the Reserve Bank governor saying, there's serious liquidity challenges here. The bank is taking massive risks and, not assessing the situation. And this obviously led to the bank being under administration and having a curator.
So, there's a lot to peel away at there. As you talk about the loans, one of the loans, of course, that comes to mind is a loan that was extended to former President Jacob Zuma to repay the money in line with the public protector's orders about Nkandla. But let's talk about the stakeholders that are likely to be affected by this. You've got municipalities, but you've also got government employees, right?
That's correct. So the PIC, which is one of its biggest stakeholders, it has 27% shares within, VBS Bank. They came out today saying that, their confidence in the bank, their confidence remains within the bank, and that they think the decision by the Reserve Bank is going to, restore confidence in the bank and obviously going to help it emerge stronger as a bank. And, as you rightfully said, this bank shot to fame in 2016 when it loaned our former President Jacob Zuma, for a loan for his home in Nkandla. And, this is when the bank actually, started gaining traction, even though this bank has been in operation for, over 30 years.
So we're talking here about a bank that had assets of about 2.4 billion rand at the end of December last year. How interesting things can actually evolve. So what are some of the risks here, Heidi? Are there any risks that are perhaps systemic in nature? And also, very interestingly, how interesting how the debate is evolving, as these kinds of debates always do in South Africa, that it then becomes an issue of transformation versus the old way of doing things, while this bank is being allowed to fail, while others, were not allowed to fail.
Certainly. Today we saw a lot of reaction coming through. If I can just take you back, this is the 13th bank in the last 30 years that has been placed under curatorship in South Africa. The Reserve Bank tries to make sure that it, monitors these situations, checks for liquidity challenges. We've seen reaction coming through that this sort of action taken by the Reserve Bank has been one of, trying to stop black-owned operating companies from succeeding or moving forward. And, we have seen reaction for the SARB's decision, and obviously against the SARB's decision. We've seen the EFF even coming out and saying that this is not helping for transformation in the financial services sector. And there are lots of risks for this, because the question remains, where to from now? Which bank is next? If there is any bank that will be next. We saw recently that this massive report coming out about Capitec. And then we saw the SARB coming out and saying that, no, Capitec is fine, it's operating okay. So, the SARB has it under control, I think. The big brother of all banks is watching over and making sure that if there are issues that, a helping hand is given.
Right, thank you so much, Heidi Giokos. Thank you for opening your reporter's notebook for us this evening.